Sorry I'm not here today, but I thought that since we're dealing with some word problems that you probably would want me to at least make a video for you to make sure you understand them. Just so you guys know, our test is in 2 days, so in 3 days. On Friday, you will be having a test on this. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to stop the video. I want you to do the warm-ups. And then you can check to see if you have done warm-up A and B correctly. And if you have, then just quickly skim through and then go down to where we start the word problems. So, stop. Okay, welcome back. So you should be looking at how we should be doing these. The first thing I want you guys to do, remember, I've said that I always want you to find your LCD. And in this case, my LCD has to have a solo X, and it has to have an X that's coupled up with 2, and that X plus 2, remember, that vision of it being in a parenthesis, they're stuck together. So this is an equation. With an equation, we are solving for X. So if you are going to solve for X, I'm going to multiply everything through by X plus 2. That's to the first term, and I am not afraid to write this out. X plus 2, that's for the second term. And then the 9 on the other side also gets an X plus 2. That's the spot where some people will forget to distribute. So now what am I looking at? The X on the bottom and that X here cancel. Fraction is now gone. The X plus 2 on the bottom and the X plus 2 on the bottom cancel, and that is now gone. So I'm left with 15 times X plus 2 added on to a 9X minus 7, minus 7, times an X equals a 9X X plus 2. Okay. So that first step, it got rid of the fraction, just like we did with complex fractions. So distribute 15x plus 30, add it on to doing our foiling. Our foiling would give us 9x squared minus 7x. I shouldn't say foiling, distributing, equals 9x squared plus 18x. Now, as you can see, this 9x squared on the right side and this 9x squared on the left side would cancel each other out, and I'm left with an 8x plus 30 on the left side equals an 18x on the right side. 30 is going to equal 10x when I subtract that 8x. X is going to equal 3. Now, remember your excluded values. My excluded value would have just been -2 or 0, so yes, 3 is my solution. Now, for the next problem, we are not an equation. This is a simplify. This is where you have to remember that all we are is trying to make it one big fraction. Okay, so that is my goal for this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm factoring the bottom. This is a W minus 4, and this is a 2 and a W minus 4. So when I find my LCD, in this case my LCD would have a 4 and a W minus 4 in it. This LCD is what we're going to make our fractions into, meaning I'm going to have 4W minus 4, subtracting something over 4W minus 4. Now, neat part about this one, this first fraction didn't need to multiply by anything, so the top just stays W plus 12. On the right side, I would need to multiply the bottom by 2, so I'd need to multiply the top by 2, and I'd get a 2W plus 8. So when I rewrite this as one big fraction, 4w minus 4 on the bottom, I have a w, a plus 12, and that minus is 2w plus 8. Now, a bunch of you have goofed this up in class, so that's why I'm stressing this. This becomes a plus, negative, negative. So look at where that red ink fell. So final answer, negative w plus 4 all over 4w minus 4. But wait, negative w plus 4 is the opposite of this. Could I do a -1 trick? See how you got to watch for that -1 trick? And if I take out a -1, I would have a positive w minus 4. And then on the bottom, oops, wrong color, this w minus 4s would now cancel. And my final answer is just going to be a -1 over 4. So make sure that you saw that simplification. Okay, so that was a review blast from the past. You've got to be able to do that. There are two different formulas that we're going to be dealing with today. The first one deals with work. So I'm just going to make a little spot over here, and work problems. So work problems mean you're trying to get one job done. So we have this little formula that we usually say together over alone plus together over alone equals one job being done. Now, our goal in this case, Jake is a bricklayer. He can do the job in 5 days. Nick is also a bricklayer. He can do the same job Jake did in 4 days. How long will it take them to do the job together? The job is the one job being done. Okay, so how do we start a problem like this? I look at what I know. I know Jake, and I know Jake can do the job all by himself in 5 hours. I know Nick. Nick can do the same job that he did in 4 days. I said hours, I meant days. Together, I have no idea how long it should take them. I call it X. Now, here's what we need to talk about common sense. If Jake can do it by himself in 5 days, X can't be bigger than 5. If Nick can do it alone in 4 days, X can't be bigger than 4. It's got to be smaller than that. So, together over alone, that's Jake, plus together over alone, that's Nick, equals one job being done. Now you have a rational equation. Rational equation, we need to find our LCD, and I'm hoping that you guys can see that your LCD in this case would be 20. So I'm going to multiply by 20 and by 20 and by 20. Again, don't forget that 1 being multiplied by 20. So I end up with 4x plus 5x equals 20. So 9x would equal 20. X would equal 20 nights. Now think about it. That's a little bit over 2 hours. And that would be hours. And that would be my solution. Okay, so you need to know this formula. I'm not going to give that to you on a test. You need to know together over alone equals one job being done. So let's take a look at this next one. 2 pipes can be used to fill a tank of water. 1 pipe alone can fill it in 27 minutes. The second pipe can fill it in 54. A third pipe, a drain, can empty it. Now, this drain is going to cause us to think a little differently in 36. If all of them are open, what is the tank time to be filled? Now, here is what I want you to visualize. This is your tank. You've got one filling, you've got a second filling, and you've got one taking water out. Think about positives and negatives. I'm going to say filling is positive, draining is negative, because it's the opposite of what I want. I want to fill the tank, that's taking away from the tank. So we've got that new little twist. So what do we know? I know I have pipe 1, and pipe 1 can do the job in 27 minutes. Oops, pipe 1. So pipe 2, it can do the job in 54 minutes, but pipe 3, it can complete its job in 36 minutes, but I want to say it's the opposite of I want, so it's a negative 36. So together over alone equals one job being done. I don't have a together time, so I call that x. So I get x over 27 added on to x over 54, subtract x over 36 would equal one job being done. Again, this is because it's emptying, not filling. Okay, so now you gotta stop and you gotta think. What would be my least common denominator? 27 needs to be part of it, but I'm going to think of 54. For 54, if I double it, it becomes 108. Can 27 go into 108? Yeah, 4 times. Can 36 go into 108? Yeah, 3 times. Guess what? My LCD is 108. Excuse me, you guys know how I get my sneezies going. 108. So I'm doing 108, 108, 108, and achoo! Oh, achoo! I hope I'm done. 108. Okay, so let's reduce these. What did I say? 27 went into 108 4 times. 54 went into 108 2 times. 36 went into 108 3 times. I got the sneezy wheezies. And I'm left with 4x plus 2x minus 3x is equal to 108. Okay, so add those together. 3x equals 108. X would equal 36 minutes. And that's how long it would take if all 3 pipes were open, including the draining one, to fill that tank. Okay, so together over alone equals one job being done. That is how we handle work problems. Now we're going to start to talk about travel problems. And for the travel problems, you need to remember distance equals, do you guys remember this? Rate times time. Now, every teacher approaches these differently. I like to set up a little chart. So when I look at these things, I usually set up a chart that has my distance equaling my rate times my time. And then I just fill in all of the pieces that I know and figure out what I don't. So that is how I am going to approach this. So a car is traveling 300 kilometers in the same direction as a train is traveling. The car speed is 29 kilometers more than the train. Find the speed of both. So distance equals rate times time. So here is my organizational box. My time, my rate, my distance, and I have a car and I have a train. Okay, the car travels 300 kilometers in the same time a train travels 200 kilometers. 300 kilometers, 200 kilometers. Got it. The car's speed is 29 kilometers more than the train. Wait, do you know the train? Nope. Train's rate is X. Car's rate is X plus 29. Now, a car travels, oops, going to change colors here, in the same time. Time is the same. So I'm just going to write same, same, or in other words, these two things are equal. Okay, so distance equals rate times time. Okay, so if their times are the same, oops, now watch what we're going to do. If time is the same, would time equal distance divided by rate? Did I just goof that up? So if this time I could put its distance, or I'm sorry, its time is 300 over X plus 29. And when this one's time be 200 over X. Notice I manipulated my equation so I had something to fill these in. These are the same. That's where my equation is. So 300 over X plus 29 is going to equal 200 over X. Now, you guys need to remember how to deal with an equation with a fraction. You can find your least common denominator if you want. Since this is a one fraction equals another, you could cross multiply, but to be consistent with what we've been doing, my least common denominator would be X plus 29, and I'm going to multiply that on each side, X plus 29, and X plus 29. And then I am going to cancel, and I'm left with 300x would equal 200 times x plus 29. So finishing this problem out, 300x would equal 200x plus, oh, we got to do some multiplying here. 0, 0, 18, carry the 1, 4, 5, 5,800. 100x would equal 5,800. So x would equal 58. But stop! You're not done. That 58 is your x value. Boom! You know what the rate of the train is. You also need to find the rate of the car. So my final answer, it said find the speed of boat. Train rate is 58 miles per hour. The car rate is going to equal 58 plus 29. Let's see, 17 carry the 1, or 87 miles per hour. I'm sorry, kilometers, not miles, kms. Km per hour. So you need to make sure you come back and you answer the question. Okay. A lot to take in. You got to be able to figure it out. Good thing is I'm back tomorrow, so you'll be able to look at it. This last example is just kind of a number sense one. So you need to be able just to kind of read the problem and look at what it says. The ratio of 5 less a number and 3 more than a number is 1 to 2. First of all, you need to go back, think about geometry. Ratio is another word for fraction. So when I hear the word ratio, I'm thinking fraction. So the fraction of 5 less a number and 3 more a number is in the ratio of 1 to 2. Well, the first thing is x is going to equal some number. Okay, got that defined so I know what I'm using. So in colors, so you can see 5 less a number, that is going to be on the top. The bottom part of my fraction is going to come, and 3 more a number, x plus 3 is equals, and then 1 to 2. So, okay, I got that set up. How do we attack these? We go looking for our LCD, and in this case, my LCD would be 2x plus 3. So I'm going to multiply this by 2x plus 3, and this 2x plus 3. And if somebody said, oh, I can cross multiply, if you know how to do it, that's fine. The x plus 3 is going to cancel out. The 2 is going to cancel out on this side. And I am going to be left with, when I do that, 2 times an x minus 5 and equals a 1 times an x plus 3. So 2x minus 10 equals x plus 3. Okay, so figure that out. Oops, come on up here. I ran out of space. X is going to equal 13. And after that, it just said, what's the number? The number's 13. That's my only answer. Got it. Okay, so stop the video. Stop. We're now on the You Try It's. I am going to quickly kind of walk through these, but I'd like you to try them on your own, or you can just kind of go to the end of the video, see if you know how to do it. So stop. Okay, welcome back. So we are dealing with a work problem for this first one. So since I'm dealing with work, I remember together over alone plus together over alone equals one job being done. Okay, I'm a little slow writing the words together over alone, but you guys get the idea. You need to know that formula. So Mike can wash a car and wax it in 4.5 hours. Ray can do the same in 3. How long will it take both boys working together? So Mike is going to be 4.5, and Ryan is going to be 3, and together they are x. Well, together over alone, that's Mike, plus together over alone, that's Ryan, equals one job being done. So, looking at my LCD, think about 4.5. 4.5 times 2 is 9, is going to be 9. I'm going to multiply by 9, by 9, and by 9. And when I do that, I'm left with 2x plus 3x equals 9. 5x equals 9. X is going to equal 9/5. So not even 2 hours, they can get it done by themselves. And make sure you label. Got it. First one. Second problem of the You Try It's. A tank can be filled by a hose in 15 hours. It can be emptied by a drain pipe in 25. If the drain pipe is open and the tank is being filled, how long does it happen? So the fill pipe can do this job in 15 hours. The drain pipe can do its job in 25 hours, but it is the opposite of what I'm trying to do. I am trying to fill it, not drain it. So that's negative. And then together is what I'm looking for. And for together, we call it x. So together over alone plus 2, negative. Together over alone, eraser time. Erase, erase, erase. I said together. So let's do this. Let me fix the whole thing. And this is minus because it is fill instead of plus negative. And again, I've got to pay attention to what I'm writing. The together part is what goes on top. The alone part is on the bottom. Equals one job being done. So think about 25, 50, 75. I believe my LCD in this case would be 75. Both of those numbers can go into it. 75, 75, 75. Goes in there, let's see, 5 times and 3 times. And I'm left with 5x minus 3x equals 75. So 2x is going to equal 75. X is going to equal 75 halves. So if you think about that, it's about 37.5 hours if you did that off of your calculator. And that would make sense that it's going to be a little bit longer than the 15 hours because it's also being drained. Last equations, or last one, distance equals rate times time. Now, your goal is to fill in as many boxes as you can, and when you don't have any more information, we're going to manipulate the equation to get it done right. So time and rate and distance. A plane flies from point A to point D with a 50-mile-an-hour tailwind. That means that it's going to push the plane faster. It happened to me with Hawaii. Going out, I had a headwind. Coming back, I had a tailwind. Came home a lot of time. 50 miles an hour tailwind in 3.5 hours. Returning against the same wind, it takes 4 hours. So what's the speed of the plane if there's no wind? So we're going to have a plane. So one of them is going to have the tailwind. I'm marking that with a T. One of them is going to have the headwind, marking that with the H. The distance is the same. So we'll fill that out later. But we don't know how fast this plane is going, but it's getting a push from the wind, so it gets a plus 50. When it's coming into the wind is taking away speed, so we put the minus 50. This took 3.5 hours. This takes 4 hours. So the only column that I don't have filled is distance. 3.5 times x plus 50 and 4 times x minus 50. Those two things are equal. That's why I wrote them in red. So my equation is going to be 3.5 times x plus 50. Oh, I have to apologize. It says 3 1/3, not 3 1/2. Oh, silly, silly, silly. So let's make this, oops, get it erased in all the spots. Let's make this 10/3. That's 3 1/3. And let's make this 10/3. And then let's make this 10/3. Times x plus 50 equals 4x minus 50s. So 10/3 x plus 500 thirds is going to equal 4x minus 200. Don't like those fractions, so what do we do with a fraction? Remember, we already solved these. That was yesterday. Multiply everything through by the common denominator, which is 3. So I end up with 10x plus 500 equals 12x minus 600. Moving all the x's to one side, 2x equals 1100. X is going to equal, did I add or subtract wrong? 1100 divided by 2. and that is 550 miles per hour, which x would be. Now, they asked for the speed of the plane if there's no wind. Is x the speed of the plane if there's no wind? Yep. Done. Try your homework for tonight. Tomorrow we're going to start to review and you'll have an opportunity to ask me some questions. I hope this video helped. See ya.